Hi, I'm Raju Vanapala, founder of Way to News.
So, to start with, can you give me like like an elevator pitch of what is Veto News?
Well, Way to News is a digital platform bringing short, relevant, and reliable news stories to a billion Indians in their local language by local sources that can be trusted.
Okay. Um. So, what category would it fall into? Is it like a social media platform with user-generated content, or is it a
It is a perfect
news
news
portal?
platform.
Okay.
It's a perfect news platform crafted for mobile experience, for mobile first audience.
So you would be competing with something like a Times of India. Those would be comparables, or would
Well,
it be like
broadly, we
a?
have three competitors. One is aggregators. I mean, the digital aggregators that I'm talking about.
Give me
Two, the
examples.
traditional
Help me
uh,
understand this space a little more.
Be it Daily Hunt is an aggregator. They aggregate content from a lot of sources. And
Okay.
then in shorts, they also aggregate a lot of content from other sources.
Okay.
And then when it comes to traditional, the second one is the traditional media houses. Typically, the local language traditional media houses, be it Manorama, Tanti, or Inadu, or Sakshi, or Jyoti, or
Times of India.
Vijay Karnataka.
Hmm.
Times of India belongs to English language, right? They are not a direct competitors
Okay.
to us
Okay,
because
okay,
we
okay.
belong
But
to
something like
vernacular.
a Hindustan would be
Yeah, Hindustan would be a
or
competitor
Navbharat.
in Hindi language.
Huh, okay.
Very true.
Hmm,
The
okay.
third one is digital content creators. Typically, they content create for internet audience, right? So these are the broad
What are
three.
examples of the third?
The third, an independent journalist who will be writing content for users,
Like the Wire or
like the Wire,
Scroll.
all these guys, Scroll. Yeah, there's so many such sources. There are thousands of such sources available out there.
Okay, okay. I'm mostly aware of the English ones, not so aware of the vernacular ones. But yeah, okay, got it.
There's
Okay,
so many
interesting.
thousands
So,
of such destinations, even in local language.
okay, because it's essentially just a blog, right? Anyone can start a blog and it becomes a
Because
news
there is no entry barrier in this
website.
business. Anyone with
No entry barrier.
a
Yeah.
decent journalistic knowledge can start off a blog or in the form of a website and will
Hmm.
become a destination to users to consume content.
Yeah, yeah, like you can have a Bollywood gossip news site, which would have started as a blog and then it became a news site. So, got it. Okay, okay.
That's how many of these
These,
websites became popular.
right, right, right. Okay. So, these aggregators you spoke about, Daily Hunt and the other one, sorry, which was the other one you mentioned?
In shorts, does
In
a little
shorts.
bit of
Okay.
aggregation. Yeah,
So, they don't do their own content, but they essentially curate and give you a personalized feed. Their
we get
USP
content
is
from their USP
recommendation.
is about recommendations, algorithms, suggestive algorithms, all that. Generally, they source content from various local newspapers or blogs or independent journalists, and they aggregate at their destination.
And they will show you like a preview and then you click to read the whole article. Is that how it is? Or is it like a endless scroll where you can just read article after article, just keep scrolling? What is their format?
So everyone has their own way of publishing content. Some of these guys have one story in one screen, and some of these have infinite scroll, wherein some of these they provide just the headline initially, how to click on it. You can then read the whole story.
And why do the news platforms work with aggregators? For traffic? Like they bring them traffic.
Obviously, right? They also require a distribution, and
Hmm.
aggregators and somehow got funded well. They have a better reach than independent websites, so
Hmm.
they require distribution.
Okay, okay. Although I'm guessing that uh, publishers would be at the losing end of the deal because a lot of people may not click through, and the aggregator would be earning more from ad revenue than the publisher would be earning from ad revenue because many users will just read the headline, get a broad idea, and then move on.
See, for a new guy, it's a win-win because he does not have a distribution,
Okay,
and platforms aggregators will provide that distribution. For a,
okay.
maybe for a mature guy who is in the market for a long time, who has a brand built already, for them it is definitely not going to be win-win.
Mm. Okay,
Maybe
because
initially they might be looking for some revenue through their content distribution, but eventually it will kill their business.
Right, which is what's happening with Google now. Google News, that Google has this product called Google News, which allowed you to just within the Google News app, you could read a lot of articles, which now publishers are kind of fighting back against.
Yeah, there's a massive backlash even in other countries. They were
Mm.
able to pull off some revenue from Google as well.
Mm. So Google News is also one of your this would be an aggregator,
Obviously
right?
yes, yeah, obviously yeah.
Okay, got it. Interesting. Uh, okay, so what is the uh, how do you make revenue then? Is it like ad supported?
Well, yes, we monetize through advertising. We run ads in between news articles. But before going into monetization, etc., I'll explain you how our app functions. Basically, we provide short summarized news in local language. We provide content that is vetted by editorial staff. We source content from traditional networks such as writers, ANI, PTI, all these guys, and we summarize content and we provide the most important news of that day to our consumers. And we also crowdsource content, a lot of these hyperlocal content from Stringer Network and also from citizen journalists.
So you run a newsroom, or you run
We
a
have a
it's like
newsroom
a
here.
asset light newsroom in a way that none of these people are on your
Well, yes,
payroll.
it's a yeah. Not none of them. We have our own set of editors here. I have a more than 100 plus editorials team here sitting out
And editorial
and
team does
crafting
curation, or do they also like
curation, and
act?
yeah, so they also summarize content.
Okay, giving it catchy headline, writing a
They,
short summary, things like that.
summarizing an art, Akshay. So it's not
Mm.
an easy job. We
Yes,
realized
yes,
it's not an easy job. Initially, we thought,
absolutely.
okay, it's
I
easy.
agree.
Then we
Yeah,
realized it's very tough to craft content, especially skimming the content is not that easy.
Mm.
And without losing the essence of the article. And I would say, like, we have a craftsman here. They would be doing crafted content for our users.
Okay. So the editing and curation team is on payroll. The people who are actually creating the articles are paid per article or something, or what is how
Well,
does
this
it
is
work?
how it works. As I mentioned, right? We provide content from a national geopolitical content. We provide movies content. We provide international content. We provide content from business and sports categories. All this will be crafted by our editorial team, and we also provide hyperlocal content. This will be crowdsourced from citizen journalists or a Stringer network. So two
What is
things
a
happens.
stringer
One,
network?
we have built a Stringer network from various towns, mandals, and
What does that word
taluks.
mean, stringer? I've not heard that
Stringer
word.
is a independent guy who will be roaming around for sourcing the news content, and he will then share that news content with various publications. And if that gets published, then he will get his payment.
Okay, got it. So like the paparazzi who click celebrity photographs and then
Right,
they sell it
right,
to the
right,
highest bidder. So, ठीक है,
right.
got it. Okay. Hmm.
And traditional newspapers or all of these guys have a Stringer network built already, but in a smaller scale. When it comes to way to news, we have built a large scale network. We have our network went deep into a village level.
Okay. So you decided to be more hyper local, basically.
Well, that's where we felt media today is not inclusive, is what we seriously felt. And then we figured out that is the gap that we have to address. And as traditionally we have seen a lot of stories that are coming out of the city will get disseminated till village level. That means from top to the bottom, the content is disseminating, but from bottom to the top is not happening. So that's where we thought of disrupting the media, and we have built our network. That's how we have differentiated our content today with other traditional sources. So we have stories that are coming out from villages, and that gets populated across state, nation. In fact, there are so many cases where we have broke the story first, and that became a state level issue later on.
Okay. Interesting. And from the ANI and PTI, these are like these are called news wires, right?
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
so these are like organizations which you can subscribe to, and they will continuously send you news
They
stories.
provide, yeah, national and international news feed, because we don't
Hmm.
have reporters in according I mean across the country or across international geographies, right? So we rely on these sources for national and international content, but for
Hmm.
local content we have built our own network.
Okay,
A-
got it. Okay.
and today we have the largest network than any other media. We have almost 12,000 odd citizen journalists contributing every month, and we get around 15,000 news pieces every day, and we publish around 7 to 8,000 odd news pieces from Telugu and Tamil states alone.
Okay. So 15,000 is what is total published, or you receive and some of these you
So we
publish? Like,
receive around 15,000 every day, but we publish only around 7 to 8,000.
and why is that? Because your
Because a
editors
lot of
decide
it
this
may
is
be
not
some of
newsworthy.
it may be a repetitive content, some may not be newsworthy,
Okay.
some may be a promotional content, some may be a fake news.
Hmm.
We have a mechanism where AI does the basic checks. AI discards at least 30% of the content, and again another 20% will be moderated by our staff, and then they'll publish the content.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Got it. So you're only in these two states, is it? You said Telugu and Tamil Nadu.
Well, the app is available 8 languages right now, but our hyperlocal content is available in these 2 states, and we are
Hmm.
also dominant in these 2 states right now. As I
Andhra
mentioned to
and
you,
uh,
yeah, we started off with Telugu initially, as I mentioned, because we are a bootstrapped company. I have a limited resources, so going deep into the villages requires a lot of resources in terms of people, money, all that. So I took one state initially, and we made it successful here, and later on we extended the same a playbook in Tamil Nadu. It worked really well there also. So overall, we are going market by market. We are not in a hurry to go after all languages at a time, because India is a vast country. It requires a massive setup, massive set of stringer network, and requires a lot of money even to build the distribution across various languages.
when you say build distribution, does that mean build sourcing of news or build like a way
User
to acquire
acquisition.
customer? Okay, user
Yeah, user
acquisition.
acquisition. Sourcing
Okay.
content is something that we have built a playbook already, and we are an experts in doing so. It takes hardly 3 to 4 months of time in reaching out to the existing stringer network and existing reporters or journalists. And as your platform gets into the
But
people.
how do you reach out to them? Is there like a place where they list themselves, or like?
Well, a lot of it is through a lot of research that we do on area level, who are the prominent stingers, and mostly these guys are available on Facebook, and we
Yeah,
reach
they
out
would
these guys
be
to,
promoting their articles on Facebook,
yeah, promoting
right?
their articles through Facebook, and we reach out to
Mm.
them. Initially we have built our network through Facebook, and later on we started getting reporters in house and inbound inquiries through these reporters.
Word of mouth spread,
Yeah,
basically.
through word of mouth majorly.
Okay, okay, got it. So that's how you build your supply. How do you build distribution then?
Well, uh, as I mentioned in our last conversation, the product has the ability to acquire users on its own. So, unlike other products, our product UI, I don't know whether you have seen the product UI or not. It's easy to use. The product encourages the users to share content, and we acquire a lot of organic users through these shares. And today we get around 30 million shares every month,
Wow.
and
Okay.
yeah,
And
and
this is like
we
shared on WhatsApp, shared on
shared on
Facebook.
majorly on
Okay.
WhatsApp, and we get organic users to the tune of almost 6 to 7 lakh numbers every month. That's a huge number for a news app, getting 500,000 plus organic installs.
Amazing. So content is your distribution strategy, basically. If you have good shareable content, it automatically builds distribution because people share, and then when you see the app and you read the
It
article,
takes
then you
time.
also
It takes time, but yeah, organic is one major source. And off late in Tamil Nadu, we started investing on Google and Facebook to acquire users, especially the quality audience. The platform requires initial takeoff through Google and Facebook acquisition, and later on, it can acquire users on its own once it reaches to a certain scale. And the same is happening in Tamil Nadu. Today, we are acquiring users organically. We are not spending much in Tamil Nadu now. And
what
Telugu,
scale
our
do you
spend is
need to
almost
reach?
zero.
Okay, amazing. Before it goes, before organic kicks in, how much do you need to? What is the threshold like?
At least a million plus DAO is what we need initially, and then from that million to 5 million journey could be organic journey.
Amazing. So, how many do you have in Tamil Nadu and how many in Andhra?
Well, overall, we have 6.5 million DAOs and more than 13 million MAUs today, and we enjoy the highest DAO, MAU to DAO ratio of more than 50%. That is a high stickiness for a news product in a news category, especially. And if you ask
So,
me the breakup by language wise, Telugu we have close to 5 million DAOs, and Tamil we have close to 12 lakh DAOs, like 1.2 million DAOs, and remaining languages are hardly like 2 to 3 lakh, not much.
okay. So, just for my listeners, so DAO is daily average user and MAU is monthly
DAO
average
is a
user.
day, yeah, daily active user, and MAU
Daily
is a
active
monthly
users.
daily
Monthly
active
active
user.
users. Yep. Sorry. Okay. And so
That's
you
our
have
daily
about
language.
right. Yeah. Yeah. That's the most important metric for
Right,
like
right.
a.
And
Uh,
there is another critical metric that I would love to discuss with you, Akshay, the retention. How many users you are retaining by the next day, and how many users you are retaining by 30th day. We call it as a D1 and D30. I believe we are enjoying the highest retention in the category. Our retention hovers in mid 40s. Our day 30 retention.
okay. 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 Interesting. And this you're comparing with aggregators and news sites both.
Yeah, I'm comparing, especially in the news category. I don't know
Okay.
much about other categories. Generally,
Yeah.
gaming category probably might have a better retention, but news
Mm.
category we have the best retention in the country.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. Amazing. And what is the way in which you monetize?
Well, again, when it comes to monetization, we monetize through ads. There are two ways to monetize. One is through national brands. We go after the same set of large brands out there. Maybe there are around 5,000 brands who will be spending on digital. We also get some pie out of it. That is one. The second unique monetization is through local advertisers. So these are a unique set of advertisers that does not belong to Google and Facebook planet. They don't understand Google and Facebook or how to advertise in Google and Facebook. Traditionally, these are newspaper advertisers. They generally advertise in a first page or third page or last page of a newspaper. So these guys typically spend anywhere between 50,000 to maybe 50 lakh per month. So we have a big set of advertisers. We have a chain of mobile handset sellers. We have chain of hospitals, locally built. They are local brands. They are prominent local brands here. They're spending heavily on way to news today, and 50% of revenue today comes from local brands, and another 50 comes from national brands.
Okay, so these local brands are like the kinds who would be like a just dial customer. Uh,
Yeah, it ranges from just dial customer to a chain of hospitals or chain of restaurants or a chain of shopping malls, be it
hmm,
from retail, education, or real estate. And real estate category also spends a lot, so
right.
they
Yeah.
advertise heavily for whenever there is a project launch for these guys. They spend heavily.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Uh, what does your help me understand the product journey? And I am assuming now you have two products. One is you would have a product for the readers, and second is you would have a product for advertisers. So just help me
Not for
understand both of them.
advertisers, but
Okay.
for reporters.
So like I mean, Facebook, Google, all of them have a product for advertisers where advertisers can do self-service targeting,
Yeah, but we don't have a
a lot of
self-serve advertising
analytics.
platform yet.
Okay.
Okay, we have one is for consumers, wherein we disseminate content there. The second one is for reporters, wherein reporters can probably write their content. They can see their account balance, how much they have got, how many articles got selected or published, how many got rejected, and why. We have built it very transparently, like how a Google AdSense publisher gets money and has been transparently reported, right? So we have built a similar kind of a mechanism for reporters, and that's how our citizen journalism has become super successful.
Okay, okay, amazing. And what about the user product? How has that evolved over the years? You would have gone through a journey of investing in product to make it better, and so what was some of the milestones of the product for the consumers, the readers?
Well, as I mentioned, right, it all evolved from one statement that I have read or I came across in a news article, wherein I have read India is adding uh, 8 language audience out of 10 internet audience. That triggered and made me to further probe into the statement, and I've done research and I realized there is
So
a gap.
y- you're saying that 8 out of 10 new internet users are vernacular
In
users.
2015, when I thought of starting Way2 News, I've read this article and I found that a lot of these audience are language consuming audience. They cannot consume English language. And I realized, uh, imagine if 12 crore in English speaking audience has several thousands of destinations, and look at the scale of a language audience. It's a billion language audience this country has and does not have a good quality platforms out there. And that new statement, what I have read in Economic Times, has triggered me to start off or probably do some kind of a probe in the area. And I realized the news is the category where there's a gap. So one, I belong to consumer tech category because my previous venture way to SMS is a consumer tech business. So I had great learnings related to consumer tech journey. And two, based on this, and then I've done some research and I thought like language is the area where I wanted to be, my journey should be in. And that's how I picked the way to news. And then initially, so like I mentioned, in the beginning of the story, like I said, like it's about relevant, it's about short, it's about reliability. There are 3 factors, right? So short is what the format that I have picked, and I have picked consciously after doing a pilot. I did a pilot for almost 3 months to understand whether a long form content or a short form content that works well with the new age digital audience. So and before launching, and I know that I am going after 2 sets of audience. One set of audience are audience that are traditional newspaper readers. They got accustomed to certain kind of an experience, one consistent and reliable experience that newspapers have offered. The second one is a new set of a mobile first audience. These does not understand newspaper all that and wanted to consume more. These guys are more multitasking guys. They consume multiple categories at a time. So I need a platform that can be appealing to both kind of a audience. So that's why we picked short content, because short content would be appealing to new age audience. At the same time, we wanted to offer the essence of the old newspapers, that is the credibility and trust that these guys offer. So we picked that property from newspapers, and that's how Wait News has evolved as a short news in local language. So my journey started initially with short news in local language, providing that most important news instead of the traditional newspaper reader. When it comes to when this guy turns to a digital, he will be having thousands of options to go through, and the audience are confused on what should be relied on or what should not be, what can be trusted, what not. So because of this fragmented experience, people are not happy with the digital overall digital experience. So that's where we thought of providing that one experience in one platform by curating and giving the most important news of that day, so that we can probably extend that old newspaper experience onto our platform And at the same time, we thought of keeping the platform appealing by to the new age digital audience by keeping it short. So the
Define short.
product evolved as
What
a
does short mean? Like
short means we
100
provide
words,
content in 60 words.
60
We
words.
just
Okay.
give the essence of the news article, and the user will get the sense of fulfillment after reading it. The difference
Okay.
between the long form content and short form content is, imagine you're publishing content on the mobile device, and on mobile user does multitasking, and his average attention span is not more than 10 seconds. And imagine you are watching an article and you got a WhatsApp message. Obviously you will attend to WhatsApp message and you will leave here. If it is a short message, it is a short news which can be consumed within 10 seconds, then you leave this and then you'll go happily to other part. I mean, to your WhatsApp message. If it is a long form content, right, you'll always be having, imagine it takes 2 to 3 minutes to read that story, and you got a WhatsApp message that needs to be attempted, and you'll definitely click on it. So you'll always be having that sense of or a fear of missing out something in the article, and at the same time you have something to attend here, right? So this sense of fulfillment and the fear of missing out factors is something that we have played out really well on our platform by addressing this short content.
Okay. And can people click for a longer version of it, or it's
Well,
just short? That's
initially
it.
we started off with giving a long form article. Then we realized user does not need a long form article, and user is consuming more video content. So we started giving it in the form of a video.
Okay.
So
How?
user will
So
get a. It's like our screen is divided into half image and half text, and half image communicates what the story is all about, or it can be a video also. And then there will be a headline, and then a small body with a 60-word body of the story. Imagine if you wanted to learn more about the story, like we probably provide a video to go through it.
and this would be like a human talking on the screen kind of a video.
Not always. It probably may be a real audio. Sometimes imagine, like, some train accident happened. Okay, we'll put visuals over
Okay.
there.
So okay,
Yeah,
footage of
yeah,
the
footage of
event.
it, all that. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, interesting. And you swipe up for the
And
next
then
story.
over the years, yeah, and there are two things that we have addressed, okay, in the definition, the initial definition that I have given. One is short, and then the second one is reliability. These two factors are something that we have addressed initially, and then relevancy is what we have not addressed, because relevancy will be a little costly affair during those days. So I thought of just giving it a try initially with the short news platform, and it worked out really well. I took some time, and then I started off the hyperlocal content. We started building this the stringer network, all that, in order to bring that relevancy. For instance, if I started giving local news based on your mandal, your taluk that you belong to, you will be able to relate the content. Today, a guy sitting in Srikakulam, some village in Srikakulam district, does not understand about G20 summit, all that, and how it can impact his life. And he won't bother much, even if I give it. For us, it's an important news. I can provide that news to the user, but it probably may not relate, or the guy who is sitting out there in a village cannot even feel the relevancy of that news. So for him, what matters is the local weather updates, local market related news, maybe news around what's happening around him, news related to temple festivities, local festivities, all that. So that's where the second phase of Waiting News is all about, and we have built it successfully. Initially, like, my team is little skeptical about the citizen journalism, because globally it has not become successful. Citizen journalism, then, like, we gotten deep into it, why it has not become successful, all that, and then we made a transparent system to stingers. And stingers also have the problem with the newspapers. They work very hard, the stingers out there on the ground. They roam around 10 to 12 hours throughout the day for sourcing the news, but they are not sure about the money that they get from the news publication, whether someone will publish it or not at the end of the day. So there we have built a solid system, transparent system, Even if something is not published on our platform, we'll give them a reason why is it not published. And then we also conduct so many training sessions to these serious reporters time to time. All that helped us to make creating that a solid presence in the villages today. And today we were able to publish 40 to 50% of our content is original and unique to us and is exclusive at least for several hours. It is all because of our trusted reporters that are working for us on the ground. So that helped us to create such a large, vast network.
Okay,
So
very
that is our
interesting.
second phase. Overall, we started initially addressing two things. One is short. The second one is reliable content. The third one is, the relevancy we
Relevance.
achieved through
Hmm.
local content.
Okay. So I want to understand two things here. The first is, uh, how is the system aware of the location of the news and the location of the user? So location of user you probably get from the device, right? The GPS.
Well, yes, user has to give us the permission. Once we
Yours.
get the
Right.
permission, we get the lat and long from the user, and our
Right.
system maps his lat and long to a town that he belongs to, and then it maps back to his mandal or taluk, and further it maps back to a district. And
Okay.
we automatically start matching. Based on matching, we start publishing the relevant content to him.
And how does the system map the stories that this story belongs to this
We
location?
have editions like how a newspaper functions, right? Like a newspaper has a district edition. So the traditional newspapers have gone to the extent of a district. When it comes to Veto News, we have a district edition, we have a taluk or mandal edition, we have a town level edition.
What
And
is a
this
taluk
edition
or
will be
mandal?
mapped. Taluk or mandal is a subset of a district. Generally, a district can have anywhere
It's like a
between
bunch of
five.
villages,
Yeah, it's a bunch
basically.
of villages.
Okay.
A
Hmm.
bunch of villages will be treated as a mandal or taluk,
Hmm.
and a mandal can have a typically anywhere between 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh population, and a set of mandals will be called as a district generally, and a district generally will be having more than 10 to 20 lakh kind of a population.
Okay, understood. So you have a mandal level news edition and a district level news edition
District
and
level,
a
and if it's a town with a more than 50,000 population, we also do town level content publishing
okay,
to
okay.
make it more relevant to the audience.
So this your stringer network, when they upload a story, then they would probably select at the time of uploading which
Yes,
mandal,
they'll
which town,
select
which
at the time
district.
of uploading, and AI also does the basic checks whether the content belongs to that area or not. Over the
Okay,
years, we have got several millions of content pieces, and AI has learned and has become far more accurate and robust. It is now able to discard even bad actors from the system. Fake or motivated content will be eliminated. AI eliminates all such kind of a content, and the manual activity has become very limited these days.
okay, interesting. Okay. So the second thing I wanted to ask you, these stringers are essentially relying on way to news for their earning. Like, how much do they earn on an average? Or is way to news one of the places from where they earn, and they earn from multiple
Yeah,
sources? Like,
both cases. There are people who are heavily relied on waiting news to earn, and there are people who contribute to multiple sources. But I would
like
say at
someone
least
who's giving you 20 stories a month which are published, how much would you be earning, for example?
I'll put it this way: I have users who are earning anywhere between 20 to 30,000 per month, and I have users who are just earning anywhere between 1,000 to 3,000 as well. Those who are contributing to multiple sources, then they probably would be contributing few stories to us. So they probably earn anywhere between 2 to 3,000 a month.
Hmm.
But those who are contributing heavily to us, and we also mark them as a senior reporters or senior contributors because they contribute a lot of trusted content and their trust score on the platform is very high. We have a AI that ranks every reporter, and based on the rank also the system accepts more content from reporters, and
Okay,
those
okay.
trusted reporters will always enjoy more payouts from way to news than compared to a relatively new reporter.
Okay, okay. So the payout per article will be higher for a reporter with a higher trust score.
Right. And payout for article varies anywhere between from 10 rupees to almost 50 rupees based on the exclusivity, uniqueness of the
Got it.
content, and and based on the format as well.
A format, like if it's video
If
or
it's just a text content, we pay less. Okay, if it's a video content, we pay a little more. If it's an exclusive video, we pay a little higher than that.
and these are decisions made by AI or humans who decides how much to be paid.
Yeah, it does all that based on the submission.
Okay, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Uh, so I understand now how you built the delivery of news and how people are getting served personalized news. How do you, I mean, without an advertiser self-service product, then how do you run advertising? Like, how does that happen?
Well, I have a sales team out there in the market, and they reach out to every advertiser. And whenever there is a campaign, we get creatives. And I have an ad ops team here. The team does everything. We have an internal product built, but that has not been given away to advertisers. I have an internal product that runs. It's a yeah. Again, it runs like a self-serve product, but has not been given away to advertisers yet.
So the thing about digital advertising is, digital advertising is called performance marketing because you can track performance. You can you can see like a dashboard which says that your ad was viewed by 1,000 people, out of which 800 people clicked through, and then you can also track how many of those 800 people actually signed up and how many made a purchase or whatever it is. So that whole funnel, performance marketing funnel, that currently you're not offering to advertisers.
Well, we fundamentally we don't belong to that category. As I mentioned, we are a natural extension to a newspaper. As the newspaper subscriptions are going down, and people are the same set of people are migrating to Wait News, and
So it's more of brand awareness.
traditional advertisers who are advertising on newspapers, they are migrating to Wait News. We are not a performance advertising platform. We are an impact a platform. That's why I said right, scale is important for us in every market, in every community. uh, as I mentioned today, I think we are enjoying the highest scale in Telugu market, and is growing in Tamil Nadu as well. We are reaching masses. We have all kinds of audience, uh, be it young audience or like a elderly audience. Any kind of a campaign will work, but specifically for an impact or a brand building exercise, and not for performance.
Okay.
That is very clear. The message, okay, to the advertiser is very clear, and is proven also. I'm not just saying that okay, this is how we wanted to position it, but the platform has proven already that it can deliver better results like newspaper.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, newspaper doesn't is not a performance marketing channel. You don't get
Right.
any analytics and you can't track who saw the ad and who purchased it. Okay.
But we heard from our advertisers that Wait News is driving better footfalls than traditional newspapers.
Okay. Okay. For a small advertiser, it's relatively easy because they would stop newspaper advertising. They would advertise here, so they would immediately see the results. So it is not very difficult for them to judge efficacy.
And yeah, and these advertisers, local advertisers, are very smart guys. They measure the media very well. Traditionally, they have been advertising on multiple platforms, right? They know how to measure. It's like one day they will give a advertisement on a newspaper, the second day they will give a news advertisement on Weta News, and they'll see the footfalls, and they'll compare the medias, and they'll look at the ROI against each media. And today, like
Right.
99% of my revenue is totally a brand and advertising. I mean, the impact advertising revenue.
Okay. Interesting. Um, how does I mean, how do you price the advertising? Because you would probably price it per 1,000 views, or what is the way in which that happens? Like, I understand how Facebook, Google pricing is like, that CPM, cost per 1,000 views, is how they price their advertising. How does it happen in your case?
Well, again, the same case. We don't act like a digital platform. Rather, we act like a natural extension to newspaper. We don't sell in CPM or CPC or CPL. We do a cost per day, like how a newspaper sells their advertising space. Like they sell in a cost per day. It's the same way. We also sell in a cost per day. Our first a few properties, especially our position 1 to position 5, like newspaper sells like a page 1, page 2, page 3, and a sports page. There will be a back page. There will be a middle page, right? The same way we sell up position wise. Our first 5 positions are heavily for brand building, creating that impact among the consumers, and we charge a premium in first 5 positions, and then there is a cost associated with every position. Generally cost goes down a little. It starts at some x amount, and then as the position goes a little deeper, the cost also goes down.
Okay. So these positions essentially are like a bundle of, like, if someone is buying in the first 5 positions, then they will get, it will be shown to more number of people, something like
Very
that.
true. The reach will be higher, right? Generally in first 5 position, and it's like newspaper. Like your first page or a jacket ad will be they'll charge very high, and your
Yes.
page 3 or page 6 will be charged less, right? It's the same way.
Hmm. I'm wondering why you don't make this more transparent. And I mean, it should be relatively quick for you to build out a product which makes this more You could just directly say that, uh, instead
It
of
is a
saying
matter of
first
time,
five.
Akshay. There's nothing that is stopping us today to launch a self-serve platform, but requires a massive scale. Right now, we are available in 2 languages dominantly. Once we are probably become maybe in 2-3 languages more, then I may extend that service as well.
But I'm also talking in terms of transparency in pricing. You right now are not giving them a transparent CPM number. Like, you're paying uh 50,000 to me, and for that 50,000 it will be viewed by X number of users. That is not the case. You're saying that for position 1 you will pay 50,000 to me, but what is the meaning of position 1?
Position 1, we will say that it gets around X number of impressions and it reaches to Y number of audience.
Okay, so
That's
you
what
share those
advertiser
numbers. That
want.
Okay,
We tell them.
okay,
We tell them upfront.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, got it. Okay,
And
understood.
the cost per day will be arrived based on the reach and number of impressions it can deliver.
And the advertiser will tell you what geography he wants to advertise in. Like,
Well, yeah, advertiser can target based on the language one, based on the location. He can target multiple locations as well.
and probably age and all, like, or is it just language and location?
Right now, we are not offering age-based or like a gender-based targeting at this moment. We're going the plain advertising, newspaper type of advertising, and that's working out really well for us.
Okay, understood. Okay. And what kind of, like, this year, how much revenue will you do? Like,
Last year, we did around 34, 35, and we are operating at 40 to 50% more revenue this year. Uh,
so,
and trust me, we have not started off monetization earlier. We just started off this year actively. I don't have a sales team earlier built across various geographies. Now sales teams are on the ground, and hopefully next year would be really great year for us, especially for revenue.
next year you'll probably cross 100 crore.
The
And
focus for this year is more on user growth in other languages. Intent is to prove that this model can be replicated across languages, and we have done it successfully in Tamil Nadu. Another challenge what we have is that we can go deeper in the language that in Telugu language especially, and we have proven that as well. So now the focus is on revenue. This year we started building all the systems related, and then we started building the product also getting ready for monetization, and earlier the product is not ready for monetization. That what
okay,
you have asked for age based targeting, all this is not ready yet. So we are getting
oh,
now ready for better targeting, giving better
demographics and
yeah, but
okay,
yeah, exactly. Better demographics to advertisers, all that.
okay. Interesting. Okay, got it. So why did you
And
call
in a
it way
matured
to news?
language,
Yeah.
I wanted to add this point as well. In a matured language like in Telugu, we have become profitable already.
Okay. So profitability is calculated as cost you're paying to the stringers. That is the cost, and the
Everything. We generate a P&L based on language, and our Telugu P&L is today is operating in a positive margin.
So your tech team cost, your over everything is allocated
Everything,
to that.
everything
Oh
allocated,
wow.
and we have given the loaded cost to other languages based on
Okay.
that.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay. So essentially, at about 5 million users in a language, that language gets profitable.
Need not be 5 million, because earlier we are heavily dependent in one language, so the load will be very high. But imagine
Mm.
if you have 3 4 more languages, the cost of multiple languages will come down, right? Because
Your
you'll
fixed cost is
the same.
distributed over
Yeah,
more
very true. The
PNLs.
fixed cost gets distributed across languages.
Right.
uh, I think, maybe at a 15 to 20 lakh DAO level, once you start the monetization, it will become profitable.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Okay. Interesting. What's the roadmap? What all languages, in what sequence are you planning to launch?
Well, South first is the strategy that we have taken initially, and we have covered two major languages in South, and next would be Kannada and Malayalam. And then we wanted to add Marathi as well. I also wanted to do one pilot in one Hindi language, just to check, okay, whether this can be replicated in Hindi territory or not. And we probably, just to have understanding over the Hindi market as well.
So which state will you do for Hindi?
Not decided yet, yeah, but Haryana is in consideration.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
We
Okay.
wanted to pick a
Interesting.
small state initially.
Right. Right. I think one of the hill states could be interesting, like Himachal or Uttarakhand, because they're
Okay, okay,
relatively more news dark states. And weather is very important there, in the hills. So that local awareness of weather events, weather catastrophes, so many such things which happen in hills. Uh, so, yeah, okay, got it.
understood, Akshay.
So, why did you call this Way to News? And because this name is not vernacular language friendly, right? It's an English name. Why not choose a universally understood name?
I just continued my old the way to thing. I did way to SMS earlier, so it becomes a natural extension to that, is what I thought initially. So I said the domain is also available to me during those days, and as a way to news is a catchy, generally is a catchy word. Okay, easy to recollect. Although, like, yeah, the way to news is a little English in nature, especially for a local language platform. But I can definitely take the advantage of my way to SMS, is what I thought initially.
Hmm. Tell me the whole journey. You started your entrepreneurship. How old were you when you started? And so, Way to SMS was the first business you started.
Well, yes, I started off my entrepreneurial journey in the year 2004.
And how old were you
Soon
then?
after, soon after finishing my MCA, I came to Hyderabad to start off a company. Inspired by my brother. My brother is into trading. He used to do a lot of stock trading, and he used to talk more about uh, CEOs, founders, their journey, their achievements, all that, and all that inspired me. And then I started dreaming about creating company on my
Where are you
own.
from originally? Like,
I am I'm from Vijayawada, which
okay.
is a capital of Andhra Pradesh, AP,
Mm, mm,
separated AP state.
mm. And what did your parents do? What was their background?
Well, I come from an agri-dependent family background. Born in coastal Andhra Pradesh, and all my schooling happened in Telangana region in a government school, and then migrated back to Andhra, to Vijayawada. My high schooling and college happened in Vijayawada. Even I did my MCA in nearer to Vijayawada. So my life, it all changed in in my first year of MCA, where I have decided to start off my company. And then I started tracking all the companies, their business models, all that, from the first year of MCA. And soon after finishing my MCA in the college, I came to Hyderabad to start a company. I did a lot of research on various business models. I used to visit Small Industries Service Institute every day to read business models. They used to have a long library of business models.
Wow.
I've read so many business models, and the investment required, the kind of effort that is required, resources requirement, all that. And I realized that I don't have any money, by the way. Okay, I have a strong intent of starting up, but I don't have money during those days. So I realized after all studying all the business models, I realized, okay, I'm not fit for starting any of those models. So I went back and I started thinking about internet-based business models, where knowledge-based business models are something that I started thinking. And that's when I started SMS alerts business initially in 2004. I used to
Like
provide
the
SMS alerts
bulk
to
bulk
bulk
message
messaging,
service,
yeah, bulk messaging service to enterprises,
like
especially the
real estate
stock,
companies
real
and
estate companies, stock market guys. They used to send tips and alerts to their clients, all that.
okay,
And
and
it
marketing
became a
messages.
lifestyle business. After 1.5 year, it became profitable. It became a lifestyle business, but that has not given me the
How does that
satisfaction.
business run? You
you
buy messages in bulk,
We
or how
buy
does it?
messages in bulk from a telecom operator, and then we sell it. We buy at a x amount, and we sell at a x plus y amount to these guys. There's a little bit
What
of
is
tech
your
involved in it.
what is that valuation that you are doing?
Nothing much in it. So that's what. Okay, after 1.5 year, I understood that I started making decent money on it, and that's when I started again my consumer tech. I started thinking about innovative business models, and that's where I started off a venture called Way to SMS. And Way to SMS used to provide free SMS service to consumers. SMS used to cost almost a rupee during those days, and it all triggered from emailing. Yahoo Mail used to be the popular email service during those days, which used to be a free service. And I thought, when emailing is free, why not I can make SMS be free? And that statement triggered me to start Way to SMS. And I have seen all sorts of troubles being a startup or a bootstrapped startup company. You name
Tell me that whole roller coaster journey. Na? I'd love to hear that. Like, what went wrong? What did you learn? I would love to hear that.
superb learnings. It's very, very tough to create a consumer tech business with your own money always. Uh, it's like you
So,
always think something and something else will happen. Initially, I thought I have started off this free SMS service. I thought I can embed an advertisement in every outgoing SMS, and I thought I can make revenue through these embedded ads. On one
right.
hand, users started consuming SMSs heavily, but the monetization is a challenge.
You were
So the
not able to
mobile
get
advertising has it's very nascent, right? Mobile advertising is very beginning during those days. I'm
Mm,
talking about 2004, 2005 days.
right.
Nobody understands mobile advertising those days. Nobody wanted to invest on it. And then I have to change my business model. I have to control SMS usage on the platform. And then after some time, I have moved from SMS advertising to online advertisement. I started monetizing through Google Ads, and then I
Okay. So people who would come to the platform to send SMSs, they would see ads being displayed while they're composing their message and sending their
very
message
true,
and all.
very true, very true.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and I used to create a split experience instead of one page. Okay, I used to think, how do I make the user to navigate 3 or 4 pages so that I can display
Yeah.
more
Each
ads,
page
so
is
that I can
right. Right.
make
Right.
more money, and all these
Mm,
learnings. You can't understand. Even breaking the experience to multiple pages. You'll get this idea after like going through a certain pain. It won't happen immediately.
right. 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 Because you were making losses, so you needed revenue. So the only way to
Right.
increase revenue
Every
is show more
I used
ads.
to pay around 27 pice on every outgoing SMS, and I used to make nothing. And it continued for almost 3 years, from 2006 till
How much were you
2009.
losing each year? Like,
I think like 3.5 crore is what I have spent during those days. My own personal money. I
oh,
mean, secured, through friends, family members, through various sources. So and God knows, okay, without on one side, on a consumer side, it's going to the masses. It's growing. I'm getting 15
you
to 20,000
you
new users
probably didn't need
every
to
day.
spend anything on user acquisition. No? The user acquisition
It's
would be
zero.
organic.
So user acquisition is
Okay.
zero. My user acquisition
Yeah,
cost is absolutely zero.
because the
And
product is so
yeah,
powerful.
the product,
So
yeah, it's a communication product. It has virality inbuilt. So that's where I have
I mean,
learned so many
there
things.
is that immediate cost saving, and the Indian mentality is to look for cost saving. So
Cost saving.
I've also used way to SMS back then.
And the moment you receive one message, okay, you're maybe you'll see, okay, what is this? And second, third, fourth, okay, you'll start thinking about what is this? Why is it? He's sending through this platform. You'll also come and you'll also register, right? So that's how I used to get
Okay,
so many
the network
registrations.
effect.
It's a
Okay,
network effect,
okay,
purely like a
right.
network effect. And
Mm.
at one point of time, I started adding more than 1 million new users every month, and it's totally organic.
Wow,
So this is
amazing.
where I have learned managing the tech resources, handling the tech resources, hiring the right talent to handle that scale. Imagine if it is a Diwali day or if it is a January 31st or December 31st, you get millions of messages. Millions of people will land on your platform. They send millions of messages. Everybody sends around 200 to 500 messages to their contact book. So you
Wow.
get
Yeah.
crores of messages in just 1 hour time, handling that scale. All these things I have learned during my VTS days. And at the same time, I've seen, the financial challenges, managing those financial challenges. At some point of time, I have actually controlled the growth also in order to manage my month on month
How did you
financials.
how did you control, like, instead of
Like
bulk message you can set?
I used to stop, I used to stop surveys during the night hours to non-metro audience.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
to contain, to survive the business.
Right, right,
Okay,
right.
and
Okay.
I used to have a good set of advertisers for a metro, but for non-metro, I don't have any advertiser during those days. So obviously, so I had to stop their activity a little, and I have to encourage more metro activity because I have advertisers to fund their activity.
Okay, okay, interesting. What was
So,
the peak
so,
number of users you had?
it's like, you're fighting with growth there. Okay.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And growth versus survival. So survival has taken a front seat than growth at some point of time. And then
Right.
in 2009 or 2010 we became profitable, and then thereafter I have never looked back. I mean,
What was your peak user base? Way to
uh,
SMS?
overall VTSMS has a 60 million registered audience, and it used to get
60,
around
60. Wow.
60, yeah, 60 million
Wow.
registered audience. uh, what we got around 35 to 40 lakh kind of a daily audience during our peak days, and that's a very
And
big number during those days. I'm talking about 2007
yeah,
to
yeah,
2008 days.
absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
trust me, at one point of time, I have what one maybe one fourth of the entire internet base is with way to SMS during those days. and
Wow.
and we are a most popular keyword in Google for almost 3 consecutive years,
Wow. Wow.
competing with
Amazing.
global biggies like Yahoo's and Google's during those days.
Wow. How is it that you didn't have VCs like,
Well, there is not much
begging you to
VC.
take money? Okay.
There's not much VC ecosystem during those days. VC ecosystem evolved after 2009.
Right.
Before that,
Mm.
not much activity from a VC side. And by
And
the time I started thinking about raising funds, the business became irrelevant.
because of
And
WhatsApp,
because of WhatsApp, not because of WhatsApp, because of TRI regulations, we became irrelevant. The cost of
what happened?
SMS has gone up,
Okay.
and some of those technical policies that they have laid down has killed our interactivity in usage. So overall, it became irrelevant. And then WhatsApp thing happened. At a macro level, people started migrating heavily to WhatsApp than using SMS, right? So overall, I have a great learning experience from my VTSMS days in building and scaling a consumer tech company, in understanding the consumer behavior, especially on consumer platforms. So always my first choice will be building another. That's why way to news also. One thing is very clear. I wanted to be in consumer tech, and then I have arrived at a language as an option. The third thing is the short news thing happened. But my
Okay.
first choice of pick always will be a consumer tech company.
you must have gone through like that, that valley of despair where
I
way
have
to SMS was becoming irrelevant and you didn't have something else to replace it with. When did you start going down where you realized that
it
this
all
product
started
is
from
good?
2011 onwards, and then
And what was your revenue in
it took almost
2011?
2 years. We were doing around 35 cr annually during those days.
Wow. Okay.
Uh,
Amazing.
yeah, around 3 cr per month on way to SMS, and my cost used to be not more than 2 to 2.5 cr. Okay, we are a profitable company with more than
Hmm.
80 odd people working for way to SMS during those days. Uh, but the problem is that I can the natural extension for way to SMS would be getting into chat. But by the
Yeah,
time
building your own WhatsApp.
yeah,
Yeah, could have been the
WhatsApp,
next.
okay. But by
Yeah.
the time the big guys have entered into the category, like Hike, okay, is a well-funded company, started doing
Yes.
some good work and then WeChat entered into the country, and then WhatsApp, everybody knows, okay, has got a great traction in India straight away.
Yeah, there
And
was
then
a
Line
whole
from
bunch
Japan
of,
has
yeah. All
and
of
Line
these.
has
There
also
was a
started off
Korean
their
company
activity.
also.
Yeah, Korean company has
Yeah,
started off. I realized I
yeah.
cannot fight, with these biggies with my
Mm.
bootstrapped resources, all that. So
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I started thinking completely differently. I started thinking more about creating something else, something very big. So it's always pain, right? Whatever you have built passionately over the years, and you want to take it globally later on, but you know it's going down the drain in one day because of regulations. It's always be paining. It's not that easy to accept such kind of a change. And I used to work almost 12 13 hours every day, keep the service alive, and we always work for competing with mobile to mobile SMS during those days. So in a way, great experience overall in benchmarking certain things, and achieving the process of achieving it, aligning all the people towards one objective.
Mm, mm. I want to understand how you managed the downfall when your revenue started falling. Did you have to lay off people? How did you survive from 2011 to 2014,
Well,
15?
that's where we I realized of late the strength is okay, not the consumer destination, but I realized the data that I am sitting on. So I started doing a
Okay.
lot of marketing
60
activity on the
million
data.
signups.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
60 million signups, and I have a highly profile audience during those days, and we started doing a lot of marketing work on it.
How did you have profiles of them beyond just email ID? Like
Uh,
you would ask them some
because
information
we
while
used to
signing.
take his gender, the location, and
Okay.
age, all that.
Okay. Okay.
So we used to do a lot of lead generation activity, performance marketing activity on this database, and
Like email
eventually
campaigns, SMS
email
campaigns.
campaigns, SMS campaigns, and then we used to apply these consumer insights, and used to target users on Google and Facebook as well.
Okay. Okay. So this was like a services business which
So
was
yeah, it's a
funding
services
you.
business that continued for several years in order not to disrupt the activity. Uh, and I have not laid off any team during those days. But mine is always a consumer tech brain. Okay, I just survived okay through a services business for a while, but I always used to think about consumer tech, and that's how Await News has evolved later on.
And did you raise funding after that once the way to news idea came?
Not immediately. I continued my bootstrapping. I applied all my consumer tech learnings on Way to News, and again, like I have built it organically from zero to almost 25 lakh DAOs. 2.5 million DAOs is where, at that scale, I realized it's important for me to get some support from a VC so that I can scale it faster. And I realized the platform has the capability to conquer the country. I mean, we can create a larger platform down the line, because my numbers are category defining numbers. I mean, category dominating numbers in terms of retention, the organic acquisition. All numbers are looking very healthy compared to the competition. So that's where I felt it's important to have a venture backing so that I can build it faster. And I have raised money in the year 2022 from Westbridge Capital. I have raised around 130 crore, close to 130 crore. And from then we are growing very fast. We have almost, I said right, like in last 1 year, okay, that 25 became 65. We added almost 4 million DAOs in just 14 months time. And
Right.
we have proven multiple things that we can go deeper in a mature language like Telugu. And the same business model can be replicated in Tamil or any other language is what we have proven.
Amazing, amazing. Initial journey of building 25 lakh DAOs was because of that database you had of 60 million that helped you, or you also
No,
had
not
to
at all. Not
like,
at all. Not at all.
okay,
It is purely through the content, capitalizing on the events, all that. Again, the product
what kind
has
of
helped me.
events?
I mean, imagine if there is an election result, right? Okay, and we celebrate such kind of
Okay,
events, and we ensure that users will be sharing a lot of content on those days, and we get more users.
right. Okay, okay.
And every news event we celebrate heavily, and see, we have our own set of learnings when it comes to doing this news. Uh, and creating that engagement over the application and
Hmm.
making one user to act like a brand ambassador to your product. All my way to SMS learnings I have applied again on way to news, and it worked really well for us.
How do
And
you make users become brand ambassadors? How do you make them share?
that's what first, okay, I have not chosen the long the longer version. What we have done is longer version, the share rate is lower compared to the short version. And we started publishing one news item in one screen. That means it becomes easier. You can take the screenshot and you can share. Even if you take the
Ah,
screenshot, okay, you will see a logo on top of it. We started publishing logo on top of every news article that goes out, and that acts like a hook for us to get one more user.
right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. This is how InShots also grew. Right? I remember there was a
Very true,
time when I
very true,
used to
very true.
receive a lot of these screenshots of InShots and
Right. And generally, people are curious about after receiving multiple times, they'll go and search for what it is types.
right. So you said that you celebrate like an election, and that gives you more sharing. What do you mean by celebrate here?
It's like we do a lot of shareable content compared to others. They just do the content, something that happened, but we encourage the users to share, and we
So
know how to
it'll
create a
be
content that can be shared.
it'll be like content with an opinion, like like our guy won, and so
And we
that
publish
people who
relevant
support that
news cards
person.
during those days. Yeah, the followers of that leader will share all his cards on that day, and we get so many
Okay.
users.
Mm. Each story is a card, basically. When you
Very
say
true.
card.
And imagine, imagine like there is a 10th class result date announced by the government. We publish it in such a way that, okay, every parent shares. Imagine like, I'm a parent, I have a student, or my kid is like, 10th class studying, right? Imagine I have seen this article. I will share to another parent. So we have built this sharing effect or like a network effect on the platform again,
Mm.
and
Okay.
we
And
we identified these events that can probably bring users to us.
okay, how do you make this into a scalable process? Because it's a very human, subjective judgment that this headline will be more shareable than that headline. How do
We
you
have built
scale
our
that up?
systems very transparently internally here. Every writer here is equipped and understands what works and what not, and what kind of a content can get X number of shares or Y number of shares. And
How
he
do they
is
how do they
fully
learn that? Like,
equipped
how do they get that? How do you equip them
because
to
in our
so that they know
our
that?
we have a comprehensive CMS built, and that CMS gives all the insights and analytics about engagement of the audience on various articles and content. It provides a number of people who read that news article, and how many number of minutes that article has been consumed, and how many people have probably flipped off without reading, and it will give the engagement percentage on the article. Two, it will also provide how many people have liked the article or disliked the article, how many people have commented on the article, how many people have shared it on their WhatsApp groups or Facebook or on Twitter. It will give all the analytics. So most of these writers are equipped to understand what works and what not.
Okay, that is for the writers. How about your in-house team of editors? How do you train them to so that they learn that
No, no.
judgment
What
between
I
what
said is
will?
for our internal editors.
Okay, your internal
Yeah,
editors.
this is for
Okay,
internal
okay,
editors.
okay. Okay, understood, understood. So they are continuously receiving feedback on what is getting published, which helps them learn. Uh,
Right.
okay.
I'll give you an example. The recent Telangana election results happened on December 3rd. We got around 2.5 lakh users installed on that day, and is everything happened organically. Imagine the
Wow.
scale: 2.5 lakh user installs in one day. That is the organic scale
Hmm,
that we achieved on that day.
hmm, Amazing, amazing. I'm seriously impressed by the quality of your editorial team. For them to be like you said, you have about 200 editors, right?
100 plus editors working,
100
yeah,
plus
in crafting
editors.
the content. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So to build a team of 100 people who are so good at creating viral content, like how did you do that?
All this through, so although like we have a wide range of languages here, we all talk about only one language called number language here. It's purely because of the number language that we internally discuss here. And see, most of these guys, they don't understand the difference between an average and a percentage, but they know that 100 shares are more than like 80 shares, the number that the plain numbers that we provide, right? So they know that, okay, this 100 users have seen this particular article, and then versus 20 shares happened, the percentage, we provide the percentage, how many people have shared out of how many people have read versus share percentage. And what kind of articles, what kind of a category is selling more. They understand all this. We provide all these analytics to them.
And how do you hire such people? What do you look for when you're hiring an editor?
We look for relatively 3 to 5 years of experience, guys,
Experience in
without
what? In
much of a
writing?
baggage, and then we train them here internally.
What experience should they have?
uh, Probably worked in a previous media background, maybe from a print background or from a television media background.
Okay. So anyone
Generally,
from
sub
the content
editors,
media. Hmm,
guys
Okay.
from sub editors background, all that.
Okay. 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 Understood. Understood. I'm just wondering, eventually, do you think AI will replace this team? Because a lot of these things now, Chat GPT can probably do it faster, cheaper.
Well, at least for next several years, what I feel is that AI can help them to make better content. It will equip them better. It will make their work faster. But eventually, yes, AI will definitely take over their work. Okay, and we'll be having bots writing a lot of content down the
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
line.
Because AI can do very instantaneous A/B testing. I mean, you can just show that article to five people and with one headline, and five people with a second headline, and
Agree.
that itself will tell you which headline is what. So that
But
kind of
yeah,
instant A/B
the
testing.
large language models have not been evolved yet. It takes at least another 18 to 24 months, is what I believe. And later on, yeah, I think bots will take over this job totally.
So is the challenge right now the fact that this is vernacular language? Like most, like Chat GPT is like basically good at English content, right? It may not be that great at Telugu content. Is that the obstacle?
And the quality of summaries also, we have applied chat gpt internally here. Okay, the quality is not that great yet. It still has to evolve.
ChatGPT works on Telugu, like it
Yeah, it
supports.
works on Telugu, but not that great yet. And we tried even
Okay,
with English as well. Okay, still I believe it is a substandard. It is generating the substandard content in terms of. Sometimes we are losing the essence of the article,
right. Okay,
but it will evolve
okay.
over the time.
Yes, yes, yes. Surely, surely. How do you use AI then? What do you use for AI? Because AI for vernacular language would not be so easily available off the shelf, right? How did you start incorporating AI in the product?
Well, right now we are using AI in combating with fake news, one, and then discarding the wrong articles, or like identifying culprits in the system, the bad actors in the system who wanted to trick your system. Uh, like, we are trying to filter out a lot of repeated content, a lot of copied content. Most of these stringers, they copy content from other media and they publish to us. They want to make big bucks to us. So AI does these basic checks and balances. and
And which
then
AI
it will.
model are you using? Like which platform are you using? Or is this like in-house?
It is totally built in house. We are not using any third party. I have a great AI team internally here.
Wow.
They do all the great work.
Okay, okay. So
Uh,
you would probably be among the best in the country in terms of, like, say, a Telugu language AI tool,
Maybe in
because
language, yes,
not.
okay, we would be the best, okay, in adopting the AI and probably maybe delivering our learnings to the outside world, maybe in next several years.
And you would also be generating a large amount of training data, right? I mean, for you
Lot
to
of training,
create.
lot of
Right.
training data. In fact, tomorrow we wanted to get a voice to text because we wanted to encourage village level reporting. We wanted to publish stories to a village level as well. Imagine I have a 40 users from that village. I wanted to show that news only to that 40 users. And a lot of these village level guys are not equipped in writing or framing your short summary as well. So I want the user to do a voice message to us on the new news, and AI does, like AI generates a beautiful summary out of it, and this is how I wanted to utilize AI down the line.
Amazing.
Okay,
So you would
take it further
actually
to
have a
the.
second product, I think, which you can monetize, which is your vernacular language AI, because you have so
Of
much
course,
training
yes,
data. The
lot of data
AI would learn what works, because your AI will also see that this got shared, this got read, this was ignored. So your AI is also learning what is the right way to frame content, what is the right kind of summary to do, uh, and
I told you,
therefore you
right,
would.
my manual work has become very very limited these days. Almost we get around 15,000 articles every day, and just like 18 to 20 people are handling the whole the remaining set of 7,000 articles that are getting published. It is purely because of AI, and over the years it became very very accurate because of the large language set that we have built over the years. I would say I think we have
Yes.
more than 3 million published articles, and then over 7 million odd rejected articles, and AI learns a lot from rejected articles as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So do you look at that as another product you will sell, like a
Not
monetizable
at
asset,
least
or?
immediately, but that would be an opportunity down the line to monetize and to release our learnings to the outside world. We really wanted to outsource these in the form of a SaaS products down the line, because we are in a unique position to provide these in the country.
Yeah,
But it may
absolutely,
take some more time.
absolutely.
Right now, our focus is on our core business, like
Core business, right?
adding yeah, more markets, getting deeper into the markets. That's what is our core focus at this moment.
Okay. Do you intend to raise more funds? Do you need more money for opening more markets?
Well, I still have a good decent amount of money in my bank account. I don't think, okay, I'll raise anytime soon, but yeah, obviously I will hit the market at the right time to go and raise. And as I mentioned, right, okay, my next target would be adding Karnataka and Malayalam markets and Maharashtra market, right? Probably I may need money for these markets.
And I'm assuming like
I don't have
Karnataka,
any
Maharashtra.
timeline. I don't have any timeline in the mind right now, but probably may hit the market anytime after 6 months.
Mm. And the Karnataka, Maharashtra are like wealthier states, so probably your monetization would also be better there.
Obviously, Karnataka is yes, okay, and even Malayalam has a very good educated audience base, and a lot of advertisers want to reach out to Malayalam audience as well. So both are healthier markets, and Maharashtra is a bigger market again. So overall, yeah, yep. So every market has their own significance, and advertisers wanted to target these markets with highest per capita always. So Karnataka enjoys
Mm.
highest per capita. Malayalam even Kerala enjoys even highest per capita. Maharashtra enjoys highest per capita. So
Mm.
most even our strategy is also based on per capita. Our strategy of entering into markets will resonate with the per capita of that state.
Mm. Right, right, right. Okay, understood. Okay, amazing. So, my last question to you: what's your advice to young aspiring founders, people who are listening to the show, thinking of building their own business?
Well, go after your dream, Go start, see your own share of troubles, and you will eventually evolve. You'll become better, and you'll conquer whatever the ambition that you are trying to chase.